Welcome back to Evo News, a weekly news segment where we bring you all of the updates from the automotive world. This week we're talking about new launches in India, we're talking about global unveils, and also a couple of electric scooters that have launched in the country. Last week, Sirish and I were here talking to you more in a podcast kind of format, and a lot of you liked that. But Sirish is out setting that epic K2K record in the Nexon EV. I'm alone in the studio today, and I'm going to run you through all of the news updates. Now, first up, there's the new Hyundai Alcazar, which has been updated for 2023. In terms of design, the updates aren't significant. You get a slightly new grille, you get tweaked puddle lamps, but the biggest change is under the hood, where you get a new 1.5-litre turbo-petrol engine, and this replaces that 2-litre naturally aspirated engine that used to come in the Alcazar. This new engine, it makes 158 bhp, 192 Nm of torque, and it also comes mated to a 7-speed DCT. There are a couple of fuel-saving mechanisms like a start-stop system, and this engine is now RDE and E20 compliant. The diesel variant, that remains unchanged, but the petrol variant is pretty exciting. This is an all-new engine from Hyundai in India. We're also going to see it in the Hyundai Verna very soon, and I'm excited to drive it. That said, bookings for this new Alcazar are open, so you can head online or head to your Hyundai dealer and put money down for one. The next car we're talking about is the new E-C3. We've already covered it in detail in this news segment before, but what's new are the prices. We finally have launch prices for the new Citroen E-C3, and it starts at rupees 11.5 lakhs going up to rupees 12.43 lakhs for the top end trim. In terms of equipment, it's actually identical to the C3 petrol hatchback. There are just a few changes like the gear selector and also the instrument cluster and the readouts that it gives you because it is an EV. The E-C3, it gets an electric motor that produces 56 bhp and 143 Nm of torque. 0 to 60 kilometers an hour is a claimed 6.8 seconds, which is a reasonable amount of performance. And the E-C3 does get a 320 kilometers of claim range. And this is according to the MIDC, and that's thanks to a 29.2 kilowatt hour battery pack. Now, the only real rival for the Citroen E-C3 at the moment is the Tiago EV, and that costs a little bit less at the entry level. So Tata has more affordable variants of the Tiago on sale, but the top end variants are pretty much on par with the E-C3. Now we move to the absolute other end of the spectrum. We've got the Land Rover Defender 130, which has been launched in India. What is the Defender 130? Think of it as a stretch Defender 110. So you've got the regular Defender 110, but this has a much longer rear overhang. When you look at the pictures as well, you can tell that rear overhang is much longer, and that gives it more room on the inside. The Defender 130, it gets an 8-seater layout in the cabin. So you've got a 2 plus 3 plus 3 with a second sunroof for the third row of passengers. And in terms of features, it's actually identical to the 90 and the 110. So you get that 11.4-inch touchscreen, you get a digital instrument cluster, you get a 360-degree camera, you get 20-inch alloy wheels. And in India, you get a choice of 2 engines. So you've got the 3-litre petrol and the 3-litre diesel. Both engines are 6 cylinders. The petrol produces 394 bhp and the diesel produces 296 bhp. Both engines also come mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and obviously being a Land Rover, you do get proper 4-wheel drive. In terms of prices, the Defender 130, it starts at rupees 1.3 crores and prices go all the way up to rupees 1.41 crores. So it is not cheap. Now let's go to the global unveils, and we've got news that the X5M and X6M competition have been unveiled. Not too long ago, we spoke about the X5 and the X6. Now the M versions have been unveiled, and these are significant because these are the first ever M cars that come as hybrids. So in terms of the drivetrain, you've got that same 4.4-litre twin turbo V8 engine, and now they come mated with a 48-volt mild hybrid system. Total system output 616 bhp and 750 Nm of torque. They do get 8-speed automatic transmissions, all-wheel drive as usual, and you get a claimed 0 to 100 time of 3.9 seconds. Top speed 250 kilometers an hour. Now the main difference between the two obviously are their body styles. You've got the X6M, which has the coupe-like roofline, and you get the X5, which has a more traditional SUV-like look. In terms of styling tweaks, the X6 XM and the X5M competition. They look more aggressive than the regular X5 and the X6. You've got blacked out grills, you've got sportier bumpers, you've got dual M Sport exhaust, you've got forged wheels, and of course you've got those epic competition badges. All in all, these look like really cool, really aggressive SUVs, and they will definitely be coming to India very soon. Now, there is some sad news coming in from the automotive world, and that is that Bentley will be axing the W12 engine finally. Now, this W12 engine, it is a phenomenon. It was first debuted in the Audi A8 actually, and it was used in the Bentleys back in 2003 in the Continental GT and with the Flying Spur. And the final W12 cars will roll off the line in April 24. That makes it nearly 20 years since that W12 was in production, which is pretty epic. Bentley is commemorating the occasion by offering a limited run of the Bentley Batur by Mulliner. Only 18 Batur coupes will be produced by Mulliner, and all of them will be powered by an updated version of this 6-litre W12 engine. Outputs for that engine will stand at 730 bhp and 1000 Nm of torque. If you want to get your hands on one, well, nearly impossible because Bentley has said that all of those Baturs have been sold out, but you can still get the W12 engine if you order the speed versions of the Continental GT or the Bentayga or the Flying Spur until the end of the year. Now, coming back to global updates, Mercedes-Benz have been trickle feeding us the interiors of the new E Class. Now, we don't know too much about the whole car yet, but we do have a glimpse of what the interiors will look like. Now, if you remember, the S Class had got a whole new interior theme, as has the C Class based on that interior theme. But the E Class was half a generation behind with its older interior theme, but this new E Class will obviously update that. The big talking point is the MBUX Super Screen, which is actually very reminiscent of the Hyper Screen in the EQS and EQE. And you have a separate screen for the instrument cluster and the driver. The next-gen E-Class will also receive more updates like ambient lighting and an optional camera mounted on the dashboard that will allow you to take selfies or take part in video conferences when you're stationary. The MBUX system will also allow users to set routines or adapt to the habits of the driver, such as setting the temperature or the aircon, or even rolling down the window when you reach a parking spot that you use every single day. Now, something else that I saw that was cool on the screen is you can play Angry Birds on the infotainment screen of the E-Class. Now, I don't know how many E-Class owners have the time to play Angry Birds, but I'm pretty certain that their chauffeurs will have the time when they're waiting on their bosses to sit and play some games of Angry Bird. Now, coming back to two-wheelers, Bengaluru-based startup River just launched its Indy electric scooter, and prices start at rupees 1.25 lakhs. It gets an IP67 rated 4 kilowatt hour battery pack, and it is claimed to be good for a real world range of 120 kilometers. The charge time for this scooter from 0 to 80% is supposed to be 5 hours. In terms of power, the electric motor produces 9 bhp, 26 Nm of torque, and it gets a belt driven final drive. The claimed acceleration time from 0 to 40 kilometers an hour is 3.9 seconds, and it also gets a top speed of 90 kilometers an hour. In terms of kit, the Indy gets 14-inch alloy wheels, while suspension duties are handled by telescopic forks. You get disc brakes at the front and the rear with combined braking systems and a claimed gradability of 18 degrees, which is impressive. The Indy gets an LCD color display, LED lighting, and 3 riding modes along with a reverse parking assist. Now, that's it for the news of the week this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Next week, I will try and bring Sirish back into the studio with me so we can sit and chit-chat about everything automotive and all the news from the previous week. But that's it for this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Atish Mishra, signing out.